Hello, I'm Pia and this is KiniNews. Anwar has urged the public to give the MACC time to conduct their investigations. This came after the MACC seized Ilham Tower, a building owned by the family of former Finance Minister Daim Zainuddin.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said the move by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission in investigating and seizing Menara Ilham proved the system of enforcement in the country does not protect anyone involved in corruption. Anwar stressed that all parties need to understand and give space to the investigating body to carry out its duties, including investigation involving figures who are influential, hold titles, or wield power. He said the justice and enforcement system, especially relating to integrity, must show example and be bold to act against corrupted individuals.
The SPRM menjalankan tugas dia, dan tidak mengira kedudukan, sebab itu saya sebut Tun ke Tan Sri. Kalau tidak, nanti kritikannya apa? Yang ikan-ikan kecil ini ditangkap, yang kepala-kepala tak boleh disentuh. Biar ada siasatan. Jadi supaya pemimpin jangan dilihat sebagai melindungi perasaan-perasaan besar. Jadi itu tanggungjawab SPRM jalankan tugas siasatan.
Anwar added that all quarters shouldn't jump to conclusions that there is a plot whenever someone with a position is being investigated. He said if they really had committed the offense or otherwise, let the system and investigation take its course. The MACC had yesterday seized Ilham Tower, a building which is owned by the family of former Finance Minister Daim Zainuddin, who is also a close associate of Dr. Mahathir Mohamad.
According to the reports, the seizure of the building is linked to an anti-money laundering investigation that began in late May into a corporate transaction worth 2.3 billion ringgit in November 1997.
The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission seized the Ilham Tower in Kuala Lumpur. The building is owned by the family of former Finance Minister Daim Zainuddin, who is also a close associate of Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. According to Channel News Asia, a source close to Daim said that the building was seized yesterday. This came after the former minister refused to comply with requests from the MACC to disclose the financial holdings of both himself and his family, the source was cited as saying. They added that the seizure is linked to an anti-money laundering investigation that began in late May into a corporate transaction worth 2.3 billion ringgit in November 1997. The transaction involved publicly listed Renong Berhad and United Engineers Malaysia Berhad. However, CNA reported that Daim has refused to comment on the matter. Close associates of Daim also reportedly said that Daim had received an order from MACC in late May to make declarations of his financial holdings and assets of his family members. However, he had rejected the demands and asserted during questioning by MACC officials that he had no involvement in the Renong UEM deal. He stressed that it was purely a corporate transaction between the companies and is believed to have requested extensions to provide information about his financial holdings. He also requested MACC to reveal the groundings for the asset declaration petition, including the alleged offences under investigation. However, in early December, sources reportedly said that Daim was notified by MACC that no more extensions would be granted.
Puad Zarkashi has responded to Tony Pua's remarks on the Singapore high-speed rail project. He said Pua failed to see the overflow aspect of the project, which could be a game-changer for development.
Umno Supreme Council member Puad Zarkashi has hit out at Tony Pua over his statement that it could be cheaper to provide Malaysians free flights to Singapore than paying interest on financing for the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore high-speed rail project. In a post on Facebook this morning, he said Pua's advice means that only those going to Singapore can benefit from it. However, he pointed out that the HSR provides benefits to all users and does not require government funds as it is a private sector initiative. He said Pua had failed to evaluate the HSR on the overflow from its development as it could be a game changer that will help develop the areas around the stations. He added that there could be significant economic benefits. He also questioned Pua's silence on the Penang Undersea Tunnel project and asked if it was a priority when Penang already had 2 bridges. Yesterday, Pua had said that the HSR project would cost 80 billion ringgit if the government were to fund the project. He said at an interest rate of 5%, the HSR project will cost the government 4 billion ringgit in interest alone every year. He added that the simple conclusion is at 4 billion ringgit interest cost for HSR, the government might as well just pay for all flights between KL and Singapore and still save 2 billion ringgit or more if flights were for Malaysians only. He said this showed that the HSR project makes no financial sense for Malaysia. The HSR project was shelved in 2021 after Malaysia and Singapore could not come to an agreement on its execution. The current administration has said it was open to reviving the project, but the government would not pay for it. Instead, they will only consider private financing initiatives.
Local council elections was back in the headlines with PSM reminding PKR that restoring local election used to be in their election manifesto.
PSM has responded to PKR's remarks on the revival of the local council elections. PSM Deputy Chairperson S. Arutchelvan said PKR's response on the debate gives the impression that the issue just emerged and therefore required a consensus among Pakatan Harapan parties. However, he pointed out that both PKR and DAP have made demands about this for donkey years. He said this in response to PKR Communications Director Lee Chien Chung, who had said DAP should have discussed its call to revive local council elections within Harapan first. He reminded PKR that restoring local elections was included in the election manifestos of Harapan's predecessor, Pakatan Rakyat. He added that after courting Bersatu for GE14 in 2018, this was rewarded as strengthening local democracy and to make local councils more accountable to the people they serve. Arutchelvan highlighted how when Harapan formed the federal government housing and local government minister, Zuraida Kamarudin stated that several laws were expected to be amended by the end of 2020 to reinstate local council elections. However, he said this did not occur as the then Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad vetoed the plan on the grounds of preventing ethnic conflict and expanding the wage gap between the rich and the poor. Based on this, Arutchelvan said the current shift in positions is nothing short of hilarious. He also argued that electing a local government would translate to less cronyism, corruption and leakages. He added that the government should put the question to the Rakyat if they want their councillors elected.
The ban on Israeli ships from docking in Malaysia will not affect ties between Malaysia and other countries. This is according to Foreign Minister Muhammad Hassan.
Foreign Minister Muhammad Hassan said the government's decision to disallow ships flying the Israeli flag to enter the country would not affect the relations of Malaysia with other countries. He said the decision clearly shows the country's firm stance on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. He added that the government is not saying that they did not value their relations with other countries, but the ban is due to the determination of Malaysia's position regarding the situation in Gaza and in the Middle East at this point. Meanwhile, Muhammad said that as the foreign minister, he will ensure that Malaysia continues to firmly play its role in fighting for the Palestinian issue at the international level. He said Malaysia's position has already been stated very firmly, and that is the permanent position that will continue to be adopted by Malaysia, so there is no question that his coming to Wisma Putra will change the country's position. He added that he will also play a role in bringing Malaysia's messages abroad in a mission to continue promoting the existence of this country to the international community, especially with the new policies introduced by the unity government. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim had announced that the government has decided to no longer accept ships flying the Israeli flag into the country with immediate effect, in addition to prohibiting any ship en route to Israel from loading cargo at Malaysian ports.
Atmosphere 360, the revolving restaurant at KL Tower, has been forced to shut down its operations. This is following a notice issued by the owners of the tower for them to vacate the premises by January 4th.
KL Tower's revolving restaurant Atmosphere 360 has shut down its operations. This came after they were ordered to vacate its premises by January 4th, 2024. According to a notice issued by the Kuala Lumpur High Court, Menara Kuala Lumpur Sendirian Berhad and its current owner, Hydroshop Sendirian Berhad, sought the order to vacate against Asian Kitchen Sendirian Berhad, which owns Atmosphere 360. Asian Kitchen Sendirian Berhad Chief Executive Officer Ringo Kao confirmed the matter to Free Malaysia Today. According to the report, the High Court's bailiffs appeared at the restaurant yesterday morning and ordered them to shut down, and there were a lot of customers dining at the time. He was quoted as saying that Christmas and New Year celebrations are around the corner and the restaurant's reservations have been extended to next year. He said he felt helpless and they had no choice but to offer customers a refund. Kao added that they hope the authorities can treat them fairly. According to him, the previous management had verbally promised a 3-year extension to the restaurant's tenancy before Hydroshop took over management. Kao said that he would seek legal action on the matter.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Pia. Thanks for watching.